All right, y'all. So your underlying energy this week is the Nine of Pentacles. Underneath that is the Nine of Cups. Nice. So, I wonder. The Magician. Okay, I like it. I like it. You guys are manifesting your heart's desire, but you're also in a very good spot, very calm and very, stable space, time in your life at this moment, which is really good. I feel like for a lot of you guys are finding this time to be very grounded, and honestly, you are very aware of your capabilities, manifestation, and all sorts. I really like that. Okay. But this is also a comfort zone as well, and you can potentially be, stay inside of a comfort zone perhaps when you may not need to be, especially if there is something that you're hiding out. Like, the universe has a way of yanking us right out of our comfort zone and be like, nope, get up out of there. Alrighty. Capricorn got the Page of Pentacles in their goal and ambition, so that's interesting, y'all. Now, the heart of your reading here is the Three of Wands. So this is talking about, really, this is manifestation itself too, but you're waiting on some sort of return, some sort of response, okay? Just so you could take action to move forward. You're waiting on the ships to return with what your merchandise is and to, do whatever you feel like you need to do with those things, right? You're waiting on some sort of response. You're waiting on, honestly, a message, perhaps, some sort of message of communication, some blunt communication. But I feel like the reason, I think perhaps it's really weird, because what I feel is like there is some sort of waiting on some sort of communication, but there's somebody either spying on you, watching you, and they're just kind of waiting on you at the same time, or trying to gain some information. But I feel like you're trying to gain some sort of information, so you're not doing anything until you hear something back from someone. You're not really like taking any action at the moment because you're waiting for some sort of message. Yeah, like a blunt communication, some sort of blunt communication. Maybe you're waiting for some more information before you connect on something, before you feel you connect on something. Because here in the past you have the Sun, which showed that you had clarity, everything was exposed in the sunlight. You could see things. And honestly, it's not like super bad or anything like that at all. I feel like the Sun is a great card to have in your foundation. You're coming from a place of clarity. That's a really nice foundation to have. And I feel like with that kind of clarity, you're able to see, of course, right? You're able to see where where you need to go to get to a place of happiness. Where you can feel the most happy, where you can feel feel the best. And I feel like for some of you guys, the Sun is like, was what you guys were feeling underneath the Nine of Pentacles, which is, emotional fulfillment, contentment, the wish card, manifesting. But now in the present, you have the Ace of Pentacles, which is also another wonderful card to have. So this is starting from the very beginning. Starting from the beginning, that you see is very positive. A very obviously every new beginning is positive, but this is talking about a new beginning in a very practical sense, like starting something long term, or starting something new that has the potential to go long term, that has like a very long term commitment to it. To building something that's definitely stable. This could be a job. This could be within a relationship somewhere, or this is like, going steady with someone, or figuring out, not necessarily figuring out anything, because there's no need to figure things out, but a new beginning in regards to just being, in regards to stability, in regards to longevity as well. This is a very, very very practical card to have, especially, and really good, especially when it comes to love readings, because it does indicate that there's a long-term commitment kind of feel to this. Okay. But in your future, you have the Eight of Wands. So I feel like things really start to pick up speed, even though the Ace of Pentacles, believe it or not, is supposed to actually be very slow. Whatever Pentacles come up, it's actually slow. slow energy here. And I feel like this is what you guys got going on. Maybe you guys something new, but it's a slow build, it's a slow progress. Because obviously, right, the Ace of Pentacles is a slow build. You're trying to build that into the real world. You're making it into something like, you know, you're trying to make something physical out of it. Excuse me. So I like this energy here, but again, that's even crossed by the Page of Swords. So it kind of is interesting to me. It's like, I think you have a new beginning on the horizon, but it's a slow build because you're waiting on some sort of message. You're waiting on some sort of communication. And I feel like you will get the communication here via internet, via text message, something here regarding some sort of, you know, fast net. It's a fast way to communicate, but things start to make much more progress. Okay, and I feel like that's what this Page of Swords will be, this information that you need, or this information that you feel that you need to move forward. But the thing is with the Three of Wands is that he doesn't just sit there and wait for his shifts to come in. He's just sent those off. There's a lot more work to do in the process. There's a lot more things to prepare to get done before, you know, in the process, you know, as he's waiting for whatever, as he's waiting for this message to come back, or waiting for his ships to come back, he's doing things at the same time. So it's about making use of your energy and your time, but putting it into things that actually, you know, that will build your, you know, that will get you closer to your goal, to get you closer to whatever you're trying to get to. Independent wise, maybe this is self-nourishment as well, and taking care of yourself. All these great things to kind of help promote healthy building habits. Ace of Pentacles. Because right now, yeah, there is something that you're waiting on that you really can't move forward on, but there's some things that you can do personally within yourself, for yourself, that can help build ahead. Now, I do feel like you guys are hoping, or your goal and ambition has to do with the Page of Pentacles. Okay, has to do with not necessarily saying a new beginning, but a new beginning that has the potential for something very grounding, very solid, very stable. Page of Pentacles here is like an offer of longevity, like I said before. The Page of Pentacles regarding love in itself is like someone offering you like a chance, an opportunity to go steady with them, to really see where things can go. You know, if there's something that, if there's a legacy that can be built with them. Obviously, right, this Ace of Pentacles perhaps was this, but I feel like it's almost like you're wanting confirmation, it seems like, but you have everything that you need. You have all the answers there. But the Page of Swords is like blunt communication of some sort. You're trying to, like, or someone that goes in to get more information or gain more data. And I feel like you have all the data here. You have all the information to work with, but there's still something that you're waiting on. Because here in your external energy, you have the Ten of Pentacles, which is awesome. With the Ace of Pentacles in your future, in your present rather, Ace of Pentacles and the Ten of Pentacles, that right there is just telling me that, yeah, this is a new beginning to get to a place where you guys can actually be like, yeah, we're gonna just get married. You know, this is building a legacy. You know, creating generations after generations. This is like, you know, this is big. This Ten of Pentacles is huge. This is a family. This is, you know, building a family tree. You know, this is big, and that's where it's going to take. It's going to take time and effort to build that, but until then, it's going to require some, you know, not integrity, of course, because you have it already. You feel very confident in yourself. You're very sure that you know, you're very sure of your ability to manifest. You know, you've been putting in the work, and you're surrounded by abundance anyway. You're very confident in yourself. And that's what is important, that constant belief in yourself, that, you know, that constant belief in yourself. But the thing is that you're waiting for some sort of message. Everything here looks amazing though. And I think this is right now, you're just kind of waiting on someone to kind of get back with you on some things. Okay? But all in all, everything's like where it's meant to be, where it is, how it's supposed to be, because you've done the work already, and now it's just like it's only going up from here. It's only about it's expansion from here. Now your outcome is showing strength. like you're going to need some sort of strength to push through a situation. Now, typically strength comes up for difficult situations, and I don't see any difficulty. The only difficulty I may be kind of a little bit worried about is the Page of Swords. Because Page of Swords can be very blunt, and sometimes it can be perceived as something very rude and malicious when it's just genuine and pure. Right? It's not meant to be rude, but it can be seen and be, delivered in a very tough way. Wow. But I feel like strength is the more. I think the thing is, when it comes to strength, it's not necessarily that there's a difficult situation ahead and you gotta kind of remain strong. I think the hard part is to kind of just be patient and wait, right? Instead of kind of wanting to take action and do the things that you want to do. I feel like right now, just take the time out to heal, take the time out to take care of yourself, do whatever you feel you need to do for yourself. But strength here, I feel like it's more so like staying steady. Not letting your passions kind of go crazy and go nuts at the same time, just kind of keeping yourself at a very even keel and doing the work that you can. I'll clarify the strength card in a moment because I don't know why that came up. Strength could be that you guys feel extreme lust as well. Like you really feel attracted to the person that you're with as well. Like you guys are feeling that way. Wow. And it says, okay, physical touch is important. Yeah, it may have to do with sex. Y'all waiting for the news to go ahead and jump the bandwagon, start consummating, start making kids. But you have physical touch is important. For some of us, nothing is more important than a tender touch. This might include a pat on the back or giving a hug to someone who needs it. Now, that is what I'm talking about. Strength coming up here with the physical touch. I'm like, yeah, okay. That sounds like somebody trying to keep themselves under control so that way they don't jump somebody's bones. Pisces, you got to jump somebody's bones. Why is strength coming up in the outcome? 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 The Five of Cups. Why is the Five of Cups coming up for strength? Why is the Five of Cups coming up for strength? Why is Five of Cups coming up for strength? Oh, jeez. Why is the Two of Swords coming up for Five of Cups for strength? Why? This reading was just going so well. High Priestess. No, that's just annoying. I hate that. Why is the High Priestess coming out? I hate when the High Priestess comes up because then it's like, what's that supposed to fucking tell me? The Empress. The Emperor, rather. Okay, tells me nothing. So anyway, so the reason why you have strength in your outcome is because of the Five of Cups. Something may be missing in your life right now, and you have to find the strength and the means to push through it, to go through it. And the reason why, you feel like there's something missing in your life, or there is something missing, right? It has to do with some sort of decision or some sort of balance that you're keeping during a difficult situation right now. It's almost like you're waiting for some sort of feedback that may not be desirable to just to counter it, because you're not going to change your goal. You're not going to change your mind. I feel like you have a certain goal that you're trying to get to with a person, and you're not looking. Nothing's going to change your mind about it. Nothing's going to prompt you to do anything differently. The Two of Swords, though, is like, it's almost like you're kind of afraid, though. It's almost like you're kind of afraid to execute that decision. Like you're ready to just, you don't want to do that. Something's difficult to kind of keep the balance of. And it has to do with perhaps following your instincts, but I don't think it's the following the instincts part. It's saying that what it is that's difficult. You know what it is that's difficult regarding keeping some sort of balance right now. Right, or making some sort of difficult decision, right? So I feel like there's something that may be lost, perhaps, and that's you have to make a decision, or if there's some sort of decision that was made that caused this loss in the first place. But the High Priestess and the Emperor together, like that indicates to me that there's some sort of stubbornness and secrecy. All in all, is finding the power and using your intuition to get through a situation that isn't the easiest because of something missing. That's what I'm kind of getting from that. Using your willpower to push through a situation that's not easy, It may be very difficult, especially when it comes to waiting, but I feel like you ultimately have to make a decision about whatever it is that you're waiting on, so that way you can finally kind of get, you know, I guess, not necessarily finally move on from what it is that you've lost, but to kind of, to be able to shift your focus completely off to something else. It's almost like you're waiting for some sort of news or some sort of information that can help you shift your focus. But you got your Wisdom of the Oracle, the Soulmate card. Sorry about the glare, y'all. Soulmate card. So this person is your soulmate. This person here is around you at this moment because, you have a soul contract with this person. Like, this person, you and this person belong to each other. And the soulmate card is not necessarily that, like, every soulmate that you run into, because you have more than one in a lifetime. A lot of them can be your siblings, your family. It can be strangers that you only see once in a while. But this person comes in for a reason. And I think that this is someone that's going to, there's someone who's in your life here to share an experience with you. And to share an experience perhaps with sex, perhaps with, being together in a physical form, like being together physically, building a home together, building something in the 3D together. This person, there's something here with this individual, and then perhaps has to do with the controlling of oneself that will help you, grounding you in some way, but showing you your self-control.